If you guys are like me and you've been avoiding the trailers for this movie, do not worry, I'm going to be as vague as possible when describing the plot, so feel free to continue watching completely spoiler-free. I'm John Haig, and welcome to my movie thoughts. A Simple Favor, not to be confused with The Simple Plan, the movie from the 90s directed by Sam Raimi starring Billy Bob Thornton and a few other people. I accidentally called this A Simple Plan earlier in the week and I'm like, wait a second, that's not right. So A Simple Favor stars Anna Kendrick, Blake Lively, directed by Paul Feig, and this movie centers on a woman named Stephanie. She befriends a woman named Emily. The two of them have sons in the same first grade class together. One day they have a play date, and then Stephanie, who's a mommy vlogger, she's very much into what her kid's doing. She's volunteering for all the events and everything, almost to a degree where she's obsessed with what her kid's doing. She befriends Emily, who's very rugged in her personality. She takes her work very seriously. She's kind of a jerk to everybody around her. She gets stuff done working for this fashion firm, and she really makes sure that it's known that she does not take any sass whatsoever. So Anna Kendrick plays the first character. Blake Lively plays the second character. Their chemistry on screen is phenomenal. I loved every conversation these got together, and I wish they almost had more scenes of them just talking, because I loved seeing Blake Lively's jerk of a character just kind of pry into Anna Kendrick's like super optimistic character, because it felt like it was just so riveting to watch. I'll talk about the tone in the movie in a little bit, but it was funny, it was dark, it was revealing. It felt like it was just this character dialogue that built these characters as people, and I loved watching the entire thing. Good dialogue makes a movie amazing, and this movie was amazing based on that dialogue alone. Like I said, I wish we almost had more of it in the movie, but coming back to that later. Their two performances were awesome. Come back to that in a second too. Henry Golding was awesome. He was kind of the main supporting character of the movie. I liked him even more than in Crazy Rich Asians, and he was like the highlight of Crazy Rich Asians for me, him and Awkwafina. But anyway, the supporting cast was great. We had Andrew Rannells from Book of Mormon and How I Met Your Mother, and that guy was great, super funny as well. I think that some of the other supporting players whose names I don't necessarily remember were also awesome. But coming back to the two main leads, Anna Kendrick, as I like to call her, the future Mrs. John Haig, future wife, love Anna Kendrick and everything. She's in the Pitch Perfect movies, especially Pitch Perfect 3. I loved Pitch Perfect 3. 1 was good, 2 was whatever. She has a huge future ahead for her, and she plays a very different role in this movie. She isn't just kind of like snarky and like, you know, I'm into the music and like, or like, oh, I'm sweet and I'm like doing my thing. She feels like she has some stuff in her past that like isn't necessarily all that good, and she feels like she's been through some stuff, but she feels like she's kind of trying to make the best of the situation that she's in. She's an optimist, even though she wasn't born to be an optimist. Blake Lively in the movie. Blake Lively probably steals the movie, which is very difficult to do when you're in a movie with my future wife, Anna Kendrick. But Blake Lively, in The Shallows, I was impressed with Blake Lively, but I was kind of like, oh, it's Blake Lively, like avoiding a shark, and then Gossip Girl, I'm like, oh, it's Blake Lively, like going through boarding school and everything. This movie, she channels the character of Emily. She's so determined to make sure she is known. She's the presence in the room. She's the one asserting herself. She's the one that has the power over you. She can squash you like a bug if she does not like what you were saying or what you were doing, and you feel that, man. Just when you walk into her house, you're like, you own this house. You're consistent, and it helps that she's taller than Anna Kendrick too, because you can see just the physical intimidation factor was there. But man, their performances were so good. The entire supporting cast was great in this movie. I loved all the casting, but Blake Lively especially steals the movie. Anna Kendrick is amazing as well. I loved the both of them in this movie. Talking about the screenplay, though, this is one of those movies that I wish I could print off the script and like keep it on my desk, because there's so many twists and turns. It feels kind of like Gone Girl in a certain way. It isn't necessarily as clever or as like gender relations oriented as Gone Girl, which I actually wrote a paper on last semester. Story about that later. Anyways, it feels like it's a movie that's kind of more digestible than Gone Girl, but it also feels like a story that's much more not realistic than Gone Girl. It feels like it's a story that is kind of a different angle on Gone Girl, dealing more so with class and family dynamic, and I think that played to this movie's favor, in that the Gone Girl comparisons will be there, but it didn't feel so derivative of Gone Girl that it can still stand on its own, so I appreciate that the movie did that. I also think this movie feels very sharply like an episode of Community, which was one of my favorite TV series when it was on there. Still one of my favorite sitcoms to this day. I love that show so much, but the movie is very strangely funny, and it's very, very difficult to merge like a murder mystery type of movie with a comedy comedy, but Paul Feig's comedic tendencies, they shine in this movie, man. He makes that humor land. He's done Bridesmaids, he's done The Heat, he's done Spy, he's done all these excellent comedies, and he really makes sure that when these characters are talking, it's not all just character building, dialogue, suspense, and everything. You can throw the humor there. You can make sure it feels like these characters are actually fleshed out people, and I feel like he does that with amazing grace. I feel like he really, really did a great job making sure the humor felt like it was there so audiences could keep laughing, but also making sure that the serious moments had their time to shine as well. So you always understood what was happening plot-wise, but you could also take a few breaks and laugh through these serious moments as well. I thought that was awesome. All these characters shined as comedic leads, they all shined as dramatic leads as well, and it's super difficult to walk that tightrope, but I think he really did in juggling those two tones. Twists and turns in this movie are great, especially when you get to the third act. It felt like, man, so this character's motivated by this character's motivated by this character's motivated by this character. They all have motivations that you understand by the end of the movie, and I felt like it was such a cathartic experience getting to the end of this thing where I'm like, what is going to happen? Like, I don't even know who to root for at this point. It's crazy stuff, but it feels like it's so warranted by the time you get to the end of it. Guys, I really, really enjoyed A Simple Favor. The two leads are excellent. Blake Lively is one of the best performances of the year, in my opinion. I think that she definitely has a lot of supporting actress potential. Not at the Oscars per se, but when I'm doing my awards show, she's definitely a nominee so far for Best Supporting Actress this year. I think that the writing is super sharp. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's suspenseful. It feels like all the characters have great motivation. The music choice is great as well, and it kind of alludes this one plot point that they bring up later on in the movie that I thought was very clever. The writing brings back a lot of references from the first half of the movie into the second half of the movie. This feels like it deconstructs and rebuilds the suspense thriller, which I really enjoyed. It's what we call a remythologization of the suspense thriller genre, and it's something that you guys like me, if you were a fan of the suspense thriller genre, you'll really dig this one. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think of it. I definitely think you guys should go and support not only my future wife, but also the amazing crew behind this thing. Paul Feig, director, also good USC alum, so, support the Trojan family, #FightOn. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys thought of this film in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter @JohnHake, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for tons more posts. My links, all three of those in the description down below as well. I will be getting plenty more reviews to you guys over the next couple weeks. I'm a little bit behind right now, but I promise I will get them out to you. In the meantime, be sure to like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hank, as always, thank you guys so much for watching.